In a quiet American town, where wheat fields kissed the horizon, peace began every sunrise. On a small wooden farm, life moved slow, gentle and honest. Ray, a simple farmer, started his day with the warmth of sunlight on his face. His wife, Nora, watered the porch flowers, smiling as birds danced above her. Their love was quiet, steady, and full of gratitude. Each morning, Ray started his old tractor, the sound of hope in motion. Children laughed nearby, chasing a dog through tall grass. The little town buzzed with life, barns, horses, and good hearts. As the sun set, Ray and Nora watched the sky turn gold together. Their hands told a story of hard work and faith stronger than word. One winter, Ray's mother fell terribly sick. He sat by her bedside, praying for strength. Nora whispered her own prayers in the glow of candlelight. The doctor's news was heavy. Treatment would cost more than they had. Ray counted his savings, fear growing in his heart. He looked out at his land, torn between love and legacy. With tears in his eyes, he signed away his family farm. He walked away from the soil that carried generations of memories. But his mother recovered, and Ray thanked heaven for mercy. That night, he sat beneath the stars, whispering, "Thank you, Lord." The next day, townsfolk whispered and laughed. Jack, the richest farmer around, smirked and said, "He's lost his mind." But Ray said nothing. He just smiled and kept walking. Nora waited at home, heart full of both fear and faith. When Ray returned, there was exhaustion in his eyes but peace in his heart. "I bought new land," he said softly. "Where?" asked Nora, hope sparkling in her eyes. "The Devil's Acre," he answered quietly. Silence filled the room. The name itself carried fear. But Nora simply smiled and said, "No land is cursed. We'll make it bloom." Before sunrise, Ray walked to the cursed land with his shovel. The soil was dry, cracked, and lifeless. He touched it gently and whispered, "We'll make this work." His first swing hit stone, but he didn't stop. Sweat rolled down his face as he dug deeper into the dust. From the fence, villagers watched and laughed. Jack called out, "Maybe you'll find gold down there." Ray didn't answer. His silence was stronger than words. At home, Nora prayed, her voice soft but full of power. A tear rolled down her cheek as candlelight flickered beside her. That night, Ray sat beside a small campfire, too tired to move. Nora prayed until her eyes closed. In her dream, light filled the sky. A voice spoke gently. "Tell your husband to strike the rock in the center of the field," it said. Nora awoke, heart racing, eyes full of wonder. She ran to Ray, morning light spilling through the window. "I had a dream," she said, breathless. "Please, Ray, try once more." He hesitated, then nodded quietly, faith lighting his eyes again. As the sun rose, he walked toward the heart of the barren land. The air was still, heavy with silence. Before him stood a large stone, shaped like a horse's head. "This is my last try," he whispered. He raised his shovel and struck with all his strength. The stone cracked open, glowing from within. Ray's eyes widened, the ground was alive. A deep rumble echoed under his feet. Then, suddenly, water burst from the earth, clear, shining like liquid silver in the sun. Ray stumbled back, overwhelmed by awe. The dust turned to dark, wet soil beneath his boots. Tiny green shoots began sprouting around him. Birds filled the sky, singing like a choir of joy. Ray dropped to his knees, tears falling freely. "Thank you, Lord," he whispered, trembling. The barren field turned into a river of green life. A rainbow formed in the mist above the stream. Ray ran toward town, shouting, "Water! There's water!" The villagers stopped, staring in confusion. Then they ran after him, hearts pounding with curiosity. When they reached the field, silence fell. The Devil's Acre was no longer cursed, it was alive. A stream of silver water flowed through fields of green. Jack removed his hat, eyes wide in disbelief. Children played near the stream, laughing with joy. Nora came running, tears in her eyes. She wrapped her arms around Ray. Their miracle had come true. Villagers clapped, cheered, and whispered, a blessing from God. From above, the once dead land looked like heaven on earth. Ray smiled at Nora. We did it, faith made it real. That night, Jack stared from his porch, jealousy burning inside. The moonlight shone on his hard, angry eyes. It can't just be faith, he muttered. There must be magic in that soil. In his barn, he planned a theft with 2 of his workers. Under the moon, they crept toward Ray's field with shovels. Shadows moved quietly between tall grass and fence lines. They dug into the soft earth, stealing the fertile soil. The glowing stream nearby shimmered, almost watching them. They carried sacks of stolen dirt to Jack's truck. Jack spread it over his dry land and whispered, "Now I'll have my miracle." Dawn broke bright and warm over Jack's farm. For a moment, everything seemed calm. But soon the air began to shimmer, heat rising unnaturally. Cracks opened across his field like lightning scars. Smoke rose from the ground, then fire. Jack screamed, running helplessly through burning dust. His fields turned black and lifeless in seconds. He fell to his knees, surrounded by silence and ash. The wind carried the ashes away, leaving nothing behind. The villagers watched in sorrow, realizing greed had burned him. Ray heard the news and felt only sadness. He looked toward the sky and prayed, "Forgive him, Lord." Nora smiled softly, proud of her husband's mercy. Ray filled a bucket with glowing water from his blessed stream. As sunrise touched the horizon, he walked toward Jack's burned field. Jack sat in the ashes, holding dead soil in his hands. Ray placed the bucket beside him gently. Jack looked up, face full of shame and regret. "Blessings don't live in dirt," Ray said softly. "They live in the heart." Jack's lips trembled, eyes filling with tears. Ray poured the water on the burned soil. Steam rose, and then the ground turned soft again. Slowly, a single green sprout appeared from the ashes. Jack gasped, eyes wide with wonder. Both men stared as the tiny plant swayed in the breeze. "See," Ray said. "Mercy never runs dry." Jack wept. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Ray reached out his hand. "Then start again." Nora watched from a distance, smiling as sunlight touched her face. And from that day on, the miracle farm became a living symbol of faith, forgiveness, and hope.